Welcome to the Wellness That Fits podcast, where we help busy moms eat well, restore energy, and clear brain fog without sacrificing family time or your sanity. I'm Cassie Groeschl, registered dietitian and mom of 3. I believe wellness should fit your real life, not the other way around. If you're tired of complicated wellness trends and want simple, sustainable strategies for meal prep, holistic nutrition, and time-saving routines, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Wellness That Fits podcast. This is part 3 of a series that I am doing with Tiffany Howard, a mental health therapist. Welcome back, Tiffany.
Thank you, Cassie.
I'm so glad we're doing this because there are so many things to talk about. We have been talking about high achieving women, what they're experiencing, the brain fog, the carrying it all, the low energy, the overwhelm. Feeling like they need to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And then why it matters to have a dietitian and a mental health therapist working together, because we're really working with the mind-gut connection and how food influences mood and mental health, and how working on our mental health can really impact the rest of our body and also nutrition, metabolic health. And so today, what we really want to talk about first is getting really reflective about how we're currently living our lives. And then also, we do want to paint a picture of what your life can look like, or let's dream a little. Let's think about what your life could look like if you were happy, not feeling the weight of it all, and more energized.
And sustainable.
And in a
feeling
sustainable
sustainable.
life.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So let's first get into some reflection.
Yeah.
And Tiff and I were just talking about before we pressed record about like how do you want to feel when you're 80 and you're looking back at your life and you're thinking about what you focused on and what felt the best to you? What is that going to be?
Right.
And I love how you said it before, like you're like, let's say you're, 80 and on a beach.
Yeah.
And
You're on a rocking chair.
yeah.
Maybe.
Or maybe not on a beach. Yeah, maybe you're on a rocking chair
On a
and
beach.
and enjoying
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
and thinking, wow, if I would have done this when I was 60, 40, 50, whatever, how much more enjoyable it could have been, right? Because at 80, they might not be able to move their bodies as much. And I think you really, as you get older, you really value things that they wish they would have valued more, when they were younger.
Well, especially like movement, health, right? Emotional health, physical health, spiritual health,
I think
all of that.
we take it for granted almost
Yeah.
now. And we keep moving, we keep going, we keep pushing through life. And sometimes I think we just need to think about what are our top priorities? Like when we pass away or we're on our deathbed, not to get morbid here, but what are the things that we're going to look back on and really feel like we made an impact on? So what are your top 3 valuable things in this life? So think about that for a second. If you're listening in the car or listening on the go, just if you can think about those things. If you have maybe a notebook near you, maybe write those things down and spend a little time reflecting on that. Like, what is the most important thing that you feel like will be on your deathbed?
Right. Well, and don't wait until you almost experience that. Or right, like you just don't want to wait until that does happen, because we are limited beings and we need to recognize that we're not always going to be here. So I love how you started this off, Cassie, of reflecting on what are your values, what are the priorities that you have, because if you truly think about it, what are you doing this all for?
Mm-hmm.
What is it for? Is it avoidance? Is it pride? Part of the ego? Why do you constantly drive 24/7? And then you talk about how you're always on, or you talk about how everything relies on you and you never get a break. Well, who is running your schedule? Who is running your life? Because ultimately we do have free will.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When you say avoidance, What are some examples of people who are going, going, going because of avoidance?
Sometimes it comes from their environment. Maybe they have seen it as a child that this is just how, what our parents have modeled. And
Mhm,
so if you're a parent, you are modeling behaviors for your child. So simply put, if you're not setting time aside for yourself, well, you're just passing that legacy on to your children.
mhm,
The other piece I feel is um, that people avoid because they have some undealt with, whatever you wanna call it, trauma, uh, issues, whatever we're calling it, they avoid those things.
mhm,
Sometimes it's also denial. We don't even know that we have some unresolved concerns until they come up in our body and they come out through health issues like disease.
mhm.
And then we start asking the questions. So if you're a healthy individual right now, start asking those questions to yourself. What am I doing this for? Why am I doing it? Am I avoiding anything? And just start getting curious without judgment.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Um, Asking yourself those really reflective questions on what is important to you, and then look at your current calendar and your schedule and see if your current lifestyle is aligning with your priorities.
Mm.
Because I think we say things are important to us. And then when it comes down to it, you're looking at the way you're filling your calendar. The most important things to you may not always be showing up,
Right.
you know? And,
And
we may tell ourselves this is just a season and I'm going to get through it. And then once this is over, once this quarter is over, I'll have more time for this. And a lot of us fall into those cycles, right?
yeah,
Of this is a season. Well, it's like a year and then it's like 2 years, right?
the season becomes a lifestyle.
Right. Right.
And then you can say all these fun things to yourself, like, oh, a short term sacrifice for a long term gain, but you're not really short term sacrificing. Again, it becomes a lifestyle. So
Yeah.
you,
And sacrifice is okay. But what is the purpose?
right.
Right.
Yes.
And what are you getting out of this long term?
Mm-hmm.
And what is your identity tied to? Is your identity tied to
Mm.
making more money? Is your identity tied to achieving more? Is your identity tied to what are some other things that we
Well,
see?
I would really ask also the question of, if your career was no longer your identity, if your characteristics were no longer your identity, or your titles as a mom or a wife or a business owner, whatever it is, leader. If you strip all of that away, what is left? Who are you? What does your identity look like?
And are you okay with that
Yeah.
person? Because I think that's where some of the deep work can really happen is you take away a title or you take
Mhm.
away,
The
let's say,
bank
some the
account.
bank account. Do you feel less of a person?
Right.
And I
Right.
and I think that we have seen in conversations with a lot of women
Hmm.
that it is really hard to strip away everything
Yeah.
and realize what their purpose still is and why they are put on this earth, right?
Yes.
And I think it's important to visit that so that we're reflecting on the values, what we say we value, what we're actually doing,
Hmm.
and then also what can be done to bridge the gap. And I think honestly, if you're still listening to this at this point, you are already aware and resonating with this feeling of something needs to change.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't still be listening. Like,
Right.
you've been going, going, going and carrying so much, and you're starting to see it in your health. Like, you're starting to see your body slow down, you're starting to see your brain slow down, you're starting to realize your emotional capacity is at the max. Like, if anybody comes at you with one more problem, you're gonna blow a gasket. Like,
Not that we know what that's
oh
like.
gosh, never. I would never blow a gasket in front of my kids or my husband.
And
Oh
then apologize. You're like, My
Yes.
humanness is showing,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
or my overwhelm is showing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it happens.
it
Like,
does.
and then what comes along with that oftentimes is like the guilt.
Yes,
We're
Cassie.
guilty. We feel guilty if we're spending too much time on work, not enough with the family. And then you're feeling guilty if you're like
Yes.
spending too much time and having too much presence with your family. And then it's like, what's happening with my work? Is my purpose still, is it still being carried out? Am
Right.
I building a legacy for my family to carry on? Like all of these guilts that just kind of creep in no matter what we do. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of mental health work really is in identifying that guilt and the purpose for it, and then what to do and give ourselves grace,
Yeah.
right? Like, what at the end of the day, so that you don't go into these patterns of guilt, like what really matters to you and being
Mhm.
okay with it. You have to practice it just like anything.
Yeah, and it is a constant practice
Hmm.
too. Even though we are in the field, we're talking about this, don't think for 1 second like we're being hypocrites here. We are doing the work, and not every day is going to be perfect. So also accepting that, okay, that this was the best that I could give to myself or my family. Tomorrow, I'm gonna do different.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also strategies of being aware of what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, realizing, oh my gosh, I actually did way more than I thought I did,
Mhm.
and just having some of the awareness tools
Mhm.
to kind of like take a look at your current schedule, your current life, and realize like you're only human, right? And you can only do so much. And we want you to continue to perform. But there are strategies to perform without sacrificing everything.
Yes.
And that's actually a perfect transition into
Literally.
what we want to talk about next is really just like painting this picture of what life looks like when you have prioritized your health and yourself, your mental health,
Mhm.
your physical health. And that does not mean letting go of everything else. It
Right.
absolutely does not. We don't want you sacrificing that either.
Right, and you can still be a high performer but like you said, just doing it without sacrifice. So you can still have a full calendar if you wanted to. That's okay. We're not saying this is what we need you need to change in order for something better to happen.
Tiff and I were just talking about a couple strategies that we know based on science, like it's evidence
Mhm.
based, that work when it's nutrition and mental health put together,
Mhm.
little strategies that you can implement to be a top performer and still have energy left over for what matters most to you.
Yeah.
And we know that some things that we're after, the energy, right? Energy left over
Mhm.
and the clearer thinking, so less brain fog,
Mhm.
um,
Confidence?
yeah, confidence in making decisions.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes along with the guilt.
Yeah.
So having confidence in making a decision without the guilt is
Mhm.
super important. And then less mental or decision fatigue
Mhm.
because decisions are coming at us, stress is coming at us. And then the last thing actually I want to say is being able to regulate
Mm.
our emotions. And it's one thing to be able to like regulate your own emotions in front of your team, but it's another thing to be able to be that regulator, right?
Yeah.
And with our families
Or
because
when no one's watching.
or when no one's watching, yes. Because I have been looking and just doing a lot of deep work
Yeah.
recently about what can I do? Like when you are at your best, it shows up for your team, it
Mhm.
shows up for your family. I actually a couple of weeks ago, I came into a meeting with Tiff and I was like kind of flustered. Like I just got in here. I was talking a million miles a minute. And in Tiff's presence, she was just like calm and she started talking calmly. And all of a sudden I noticed myself, I was like, yes. And then we need to do like
That's a
the
mirror neuron.
yes,
It's
it
just
is, it is,
mirroring.
it is. It's this mirroring. She was co-regulated at that time when I was a little flustered and crazy, and I immediately saw her, like, aura, right? Like, her ability to be calm, and I took that on myself and felt a lot better.
Mhm.
So imagine being that co-regulator for your own team, for your
Yeah.
family. And when I think about that, those 2 areas, having enough regulation for your team and then, holy cow, you have to go home and do that as well. That is what is very exhausting for a lot of women,
Mhm.
is to make that transition from their business hat to their home
Home
life.
hat.
Home hat, so
Yep.
mom and wife. And so,
Or yeah.
yeah. Tiff and I were just talking about some strategies on what we can do to be that co-regulator that our teams need so much and that our family needs so much. And so one thing that we talked about is like being able to transition, like
Yeah, like
to
an
put on
adjustment.
take off the hat, put on the new one.
Yeah.
What is something that women can do maybe for 5 minutes before they transition into mom wife mode?
Yeah, or even dog mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so in any transition or adjustment, leave buffer. So leave a buffer of time for yourself to de-stress. So you could that literally could be like, I want nothing going on in my vehicle as I'm driving from point A to point B. Let's say you're
Mhm,
picking up your kids from work or after work and you don't want any music on. Nothing.
mhm, mhm,
Pay attention to your thoughts, do some deep breathing, and start regulating because you've been on all day.
mhm.
Some people enjoy listening to a little bit of music, but don't be listening to like, this
Podcasts or something? Or
listen
what?
to some podcasts.
Well, no, I was gonna say actually, because as you were talking about the podcast, I have always been a person where I'm trying to maximize every single minute of my time. And so
Mhm.
I will be like, okay, I'm picking up the kids. I have 10 minutes to listen to a podcast. And I still will do it. But I have more and more now turned off everything,
Yes.
sat with my thoughts, processed things so that I'm not processing them as soon as like I get the kids or I'm with my husband or something. And so honestly, that is great advice. And another thing I would just add to that is process anything that you need to do or process how you want to show up for
Mm.
your family in that moment. So intention setting,
Yeah.
like
Visualization.
yes. Let's walk through this. Like, what is something very concrete that we could do? Like, I will get into my car.
Mhm.
I will think about, okay, these are the things I did today. I'm never going to get everything done on my to do list, but I did a good job. I got done a lot. I now want to go into my home life
Mhm.
thinking, I want to spend some 5 minutes, even one on one time with the kids, right?
Mm.
I want to make sure I'm like making eye contact with my husband and not on my phone answering an email or something. Like, how can we really paint a picture,
Mhm.
visualize us being the woman who we want to be showing up for our family?
Yeah.
Um,
Because again, what are you doing it all for?
right.
Are you truly doing it for your family, yourself, status? What are you truly doing all of this for?
Yeah, striving, striving, striving.
Mhm.
Great to strive. We are called to serve and strive.
Mhm.
Um, but to what extent,
Right.
right? How is it impacting those around us? How is it impacting yourself? Those are all, of course, really important things to reflect on.
Mhm.
And we want to really set intentions to have that clearer thinking, to have more energy and more confident decision making. We have 1,000 strategies. We don't want to get into every
Well,
single
we don't wanna give it
thing.
all away,
Yeah, gosh.
right? We've got Regulate Her coming up in September, and so that's a
Yes.
beautiful collective that we are creating for women like yourself. So
Yes. And in Regulate Her, all the things that we've been talking about, if you're resonating with how you're feeling right now, how you're showing up in your life, and knowing there's this gap between how you're feeling and how you want to feel and
mhm,
this life that you've envisioned, like building success, and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel good. Like it feels heavy, like, you're having afternoon crashes and you're just not showing up as well or as present for after you do all this work,
mhm,
then there's this disconnect and you know you want more. You just don't know exactly how to do it.
right.
And one of the biggest things is like You don't know exactly how to do it without overhauling your entire life.
But we do.
Yeah. And
We know
so
how to do it.
right, and we know how busy you are, and this isn't like
Mhm.
a 18,000 step thing. This is a easy, simple, step by step, fit into your life, fit into your lifestyle program where you are connected with women who are like minded
Mm.
and doing and being and living the life that
Yes.
you are living with the guilt, with the impatience, with the brain fog,
Mhm.
with the I don't know how to make boundaries, all of those things. And they're struggling with these things as well. And they still want to be top performers in their field,
Yeah.
in their area. And brain health, huge. Your
Mhm.
brain is running the show. And we want you to feel happy and calm in the life that you've built, in the success that you've built for yourself.
Mhm.
And that really is what Tiff and I have been building is
Yeah.
this Regulate Her collective. It's a 6-month leadership resilience collective
Mhm.
where we are helping women make clearer decisions, more confident decisions, continuing to be a top performer, ambitious woman. We never want you to walk away from that. We know
Right.
you're doing amazing things,
Yeah.
but doing so in a nervous system regulated way where you're still showing up for not just your work, you're showing up for everybody who's important to you, including
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions on that, I'm actually going to drop the link to join us for Regulate Her. And we also actually have a couple reset days. If you
Yes, that's
listen
coming
to
up.
this in time,
Yes.
um, some reset days coming where it gives you a little taste of what the Regulate Her 6-month collective is going to be with this community of women, with the workshops. We'll give you more information. Just click on the link if you are needing more information on Regulate Her collective. And we'll drop the link for the reset days as well. And if this resonated with you, we are available for questions. We also have a quiz available. Do you want to talk about the quiz really quick?
Yeah. So if you feel that you are unsure about, am I regulating? Am I surviving? Am I always on there's a quiz that we have at infinitehealingcenter.org. Just click on regulate her and you get your results right away. It tests 5 different areas of your life. So it will either solidify what you already know or it will solidify what you've been in denial of.
Mhm. Creating awareness, but you likely are aware, but sometimes, like I mentioned in the last episode, some women just know they're feeling off or they don't know how to identify it. And this quiz can, like Tiff said, solidify
Yeah.
what specifically is not functioning correctly in your life right
Mhm.
now and like what might be an area that we can improve upon.
Mhm.
And so go ahead and take that quiz again, infinitehealingcenter.org. And we'd love to look at your results. And if you're interested in the program, the collective that we have, we're so excited about it. It is going to be transformative.
Yes.
We haven't even talked about all the
Lifelong.
things, but yes, like
Yeah.
all the modalities and PEMF, halotherapy, sauna, access to these things and then also the monthly workshops
Mhm.
and the intensives with Tiff and the nutrition brain performance work with me a dietitian absolutely transformative if
Yeah.
you are a leader and you are feeling like you can't quite keep up with the level that you're at right now but you still want to be ambitious in your career. This is the program for you. It is helping you continue to be a top performer and be happy about it
Yeah.
too, and calm and feel like you are feeling the success that you've created and that you've built for yourself. So, if this episode resonated with you, please rate this podcast or send it to a friend who is a top performer and a woman leader who needs to hear about this. And Tiff, thanks so much for being on.
Yeah. Thank you, Cassie. I'm really excited for the collaboration and the outcomes of what these women are going to receive.
Life changing. It's
Hmm.
going to be amazing. I
Yeah.
cannot wait. And maybe we'll do an episode where we talk about all these things that
Yeah.
women learn in the program. But until then, let us know if you have any questions. You can message me at Wellness That Fits. And thank you so much for listening. This is the third part in the series. And so if you want more episodes like this, DM me and I will create episodes that you want to hear. So thank you so much for listening to the Wellness That Fits podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Wellness That Fits podcast. I hope you walk away with simple, doable steps you can put into practice right away. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world if you subscribed, left a review, or shared it with another busy mom who could use some encouragement. Until next time, friends, keep creating wellness that fits your life.